Hi, Bother Brigade. Here's what's bothering me today. Do some of y'all remember how back on December 6th, I pointed out the various problems with Doug Ford's affordable housing task force that was being led predominantly by PC donors and also a CEO from Scotiabank, and how I said, yeah, it's probably not going to be anything really good, and we're going to get just the terrible results. And yeah, I pretty much called it. But also, I didn't expect some of the other even more worse and just openly mask off kind of things. Or, well, to me, it's mask off, and maybe to other people, it's not. So basically, not only do I encourage people to watch the previous video that I made on this, which again will be linked down below, that's good. And you can see, wow, this guy tends to be right about things. Maybe we should listen to him more often. And, spread the word around so more people see this and become aware of this stuff. And so what I need people to be aware of now are the results of the Housing Affordability Task Force. That's right, it's all here now. So what does it say? The task force report recommendations include 5 main areas to quickly increase the supply of market housing to meet a goal of adding 1.5 million homes over the next 10 years. 1. Make changes to planning policies and zoning to allow for greater density and increase the variety of housing. 2. Reduce and streamline urban design rules to lower costs of development. 3. Depoliticize the approvals process to address NIMBYism and cut red tape to speed up housing. 4. Prevent abuse of the appeal process and address the backlog at the Ontario Land Tribunal by prioritizing cases that increase housing. Number 5. Align efforts between all levels of government to incentivize more housing. Additionally, the task force's report makes other recommendations to increase housing supply over the long term, including to digitize and modernize the approvals and planning process, grow the skilled labor workforce, and encourage new pathways to home ownership. So in other words, yeah, I kind of just called it, but also let's kind of break down what they're actually saying across the board with these points. What they're saying is the citizens fighting back is too difficult. It's causing too much red tape, and we just need to get this done, so we're going to cut through the red tape so that we can just build more housing. It's not about affordable housing, right? The Affordable Housing Task Force came to the realization that prices are so high because there's such a small housing supply. There really isn't. There's more than enough vacant homes to house every single person in this country and then some. But I digress. They decided that the best solution was we got to make it easier to build even more housing, because if there's just a higher volume, then the prices will naturally drop, right? It completely ignores the fact that the banks are the ones exploiting the current system and just making massive bids, and the banks are bankrolling this because, oh look, the companies like BlackRock and whoever, the banks just fund those mortgages, which seem to be very good securities that make up pensions. So the banks are making just a ton of free money, basically. So they have no incentive to clamp down on that. I wonder why the Affordable Housing Task Force was led by a former banker. Really puzzles the mind, that one. And then on top of that, right, you have them saying, well, we build more houses and that means price go down, right? It completely ignores what's currently happening in the market. And then there's that last point there, right? When they say, we're going to make it so that there are more avenues for people to buy homes, right? It's just opening up more liquidity, which, as we pointed out in a separate video, I'll see if I can find that one, about how they're all moaning about household debt is at an all-time high. Yeah, because you keep forcing us down this path, you absolutely contemptible jackasses. And so the solution is just steamroll over neighborhoods and cities and just, what we say goes, and streamline the process to make it more online for, all the big businesses to just push that stuff through. And never mind actually making affordable housing. They just want to increase the supply of housing, whether it's, condos or suburban subdevelopments or whatever, because somehow magically that means the price will go down. Please ignore the fact that we are profiting immensely off of the current system where they are the ones doing most of the bidding and just holding the house as an asset rather than, letting people live in it. So yeah, I'm really not surprised by this development, but it is still so unfortunate that this is just so stupid and mask off, right? That these people are just saying, yeah, this will work, right? And they were all led by people who, again, donate to the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario, one of whom is a former fucking banker, for God's sake. Like, this whole situation is so stupid and avoidable, and it's one of those things where it's not actually addressing the problem, right? The Affordable Housing Task Force came up with, unfortunately, as I predicted, some of the worst ideas and then some, as gravy on top. It is just so unfortunate, and it misses the entire point of building affordable housing. Oh, we'll just get more people in the workforce. Yeah, what's the detailed plan? Notice how they don't mention that, because that's not what this is about. It's just about putting out more housing units for banks to bankroll so that more of their friends in the real estate sector can make even more money to donate to their campaigns, and they just enrich themselves further. And so eventually, 10 years from now, this country will be swimming in housing in terms of just the sheer number of units, but there will still be people unable to afford them because the affordable housing crisis, they don't want to actually address that. They only see profit and capital. They don't see people who are suffering and need places to stay. And the kicker is that each of these people was paid like a 6-figure salary to give this report that is basically only serving to enrich themselves and their friends. It is absolutely so infuriating. It should be criminal, but unfortunately it's not. And that's what's bothering me today.